A lot of the other Iranian movies are produced by the Revolutionary Guard. Or, on the other side, you have Hollywood Hitjobs, you have Argos.
You're listening to Cinema Rex, an Iranian film podcast. Episode 50, a Hollywood Hitjobs special, Wayne Blair's Septembers of Shiraz. Kaveh, hi.
Hi, what's up, Farhan? How are you doing? It's good to have you on the show today.
How are
you
you?
for being such a wonderful guest. I love having you. This film destroyed
Thank
me.
you.
I'm really upset.
I've heard a lot about the Cinema Rex podcast. I have always wanted to come onto the show.
Great.
You know,
Thank
it's
you.
up there.
Thank
It's Howard Stern and then it's Cinema Rex. Those
It
are
is
kind of
Howard
the
Stern.
two.
Yeah.
Those are the two
Howard
heavy
Stern.
hitters you need to be on in your career to really make
It's
it.
Howard Stern in sandals and like with dates nearby.
Yeah.
We have a guest today, and I'm very happy that we do because someone's gonna have to help us walk through this nightmarish fever dream that is this fuck. Oh, one more thing quickly before I introduce the guest, Farhan. You is it extra work for you when you have to beep out the swears?
It takes like 5 seconds. The thing that stresses me out is missing them. The only
Okay,
yeah,
great. This fucking piece of shit film pissed me off so fucking much that I don't know how we're gonna make it through this goddamn podcast without swear words. Speaking of swear words and being funny, well, we weren't speaking about being funny, but I'm being funny. Am I funny? I don't know. Speaking about,
you're the funny one.
Yeah, I'm the funny one. You're the handsome one, which is good for podcasts, I guess, for audio medium.
Yeah.
Durud bar shoma dostan aziz. This is the Cinerex podcast where we discuss all things Iranian film, cinema, art, literature, poetry, television. We talk about imprisonment and torture and Jewish Iranians.
Deeds to houses, getting burned with
Burning
cigarettes.
with cigarettes, Ku Klux Klan masks inside
Yeah.
the thing. What else? What else do we talk about?
Amazing Persian accents that sound vaguely Transylvanian.
What?
I'm Kaveh Mohebi.
And I'm Farhan Moradi.
I also really do love Salma Hayek. I just have to say that as a fact.
I think they're like the actors in this movie are genuinely good actors.
No, I have a crush on her, so it's
Yeah, Lebanese
I have to
queen.
talk. Yeah. We have Foad HP with us today. Foad HP is an actor, comic, and writer. He has performed at Just for Laughs, Kevin Hart's LOL Network, Winnipeg Comedy Festival, and was a writer for This Hour Has 22 Minutes. My condolences to you for that. His first feature film, Strangers in a Room, was the winner of the Audience Choice Award at the 2023 Real World Film Festival, and his second feature film, Wild Dogs, was recently picked up for distribution by Multivisionaire Pictures. Welcome to the show, Foad. How are you?
I'm well, Kaveh. Thanks for having me. Hello.
Thank you for
Thanks
being
for
here.
being here.
So happy to be here, Farhan. I'm excited to get into this awful movie. And I won't swear, but it deserves lots of swearing.
You can swear. I mean, Farhan doesn't like it when you say the naughty words.
My sweet spot is 14A.
What if I swear in Farsi?
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah?
question. What if he swears in Farsi?
Do you
what
bleep
happens
that
then,
out?
Farhan?
Is that okay?
I don't know.
If I say
don't know.
Madagbe, Bishur
Yes.
I don't
You're
know.
gonna need to for
Some
this.
of those I might.
Nanat, Adrian Brody.
Listen, if you'll say all of this stuff in front of my parents, you can go nuts. My parents listen to this podcast.
Oh, I'm fucking fearless. Yeah. I remember one long time ago, my dad brought me into the room because I was like 13 and I learned about sketch for the first time. And then my dad was like hanging out with all his old Persian friends and he's like, Foad, come here. And I came in the room. He's like, what did you say about Khomeini earlier? I was like, I said he's like sketch. And they're all like, oh shit. What is this kid saying?
How old were you?
I was like 12 or 13.
Nice. Fuad, you're a stand-up comic.
I am.
You're a writer.
Yes.
You're an actor.
I do all those. Yes.
Tell me how, inspire young Iranian youths who might be listening to this and thinking, oh, those are career avenues I can venture. I didn't know it was possible for me. What got you started in this? How long have you been doing it? Do you recommend it? Do you enjoy it? Shoot.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely want to inspire Iranians to do this and become stand-up comics. And I think a lot of Iranians, especially the expats, are wealthier than my family is. So the arts are definitely for you if you got a nice, wealthy family. Get into it. I did not have a wealthy family. I'm doing this all on my own. So this is a terrible choice, but here we are. I don't have a plan B. I started in stand-up in 2012. I got into it because I was like the funny friend in the friend group, but I also wanted to act, and I didn't know how to get into acting. And I'd heard so many stories from comics being like, oh, I did a set at the Comedy Store and someone saw me and they're like, do you want to write for this show? And I'm like, oh, I could probably do that. So I got into stand-up. No one ever offered me a writing job or acting gig ever from seeing me do stand-up, despite after shows people being like, hey, I'm a director and I'm trying to, do you want to, I'm like, yeah, I act, here's my agent. And they're like, yeah, I'll get back, and like never. But since then I got my way to Just for Laughs, Kevin Hart's Little Network, a whole bunch of other things. And then through there, I found an agent, got into acting, and I was just like good at it. So I kept going.
That's great. So that's one. So like, what's the time? Like, how long have you been doing this in terms of the timeline of like, since you got your first gig or first or even from a stand-up perspective, from when you did your first stand-up?
Yeah. So actually my stand-up anniversary is coming up real soon. It's August 29th.
Stand anniversry?
Yeah, my stand anniversary is August 29th. And this year will be 13 years. I started in 2012.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't start acting until about like 2017, but basically from like 2017 onwards is when first year I got Just for Laughs. Same year I got hired for This Hour's 22 Minutes. And since then I haven't had a day job, which I'm like very lucky to be able to experience.
So it's possible. Dreams do come true.
Yeah, you can do it. You just got to have no family, no kids, no like assets or debts or anything.
Yeah.
Live in a cell.
I have those things. And my kids and my family, they suffer greatly for me to pursue my passion. So it's okay. As long as you put them in the back burner, it's okay.
There you go.
Cobbett even has a dog.
I have a dog. I have a dog too.
I love dogs. I had to euthanize my dog a couple of years ago. And it's
for the stand-up comedy.
Did he need
career,
to be euthanized?
Yes,
Or I was gonna say, or was this for material?
Oh no, she was a puppy. She had to go. No,
no. It was just
She was 15
Big
years
Laura
old.
Loomer energy.
Yeah, that's right. I shot my dog in the back of the
It's
head.
either you or the joke about Persian families. One of you have to go. You come very highly recommended. We've never actually met, but I've known of you and I follow you on Instagram. I laugh very hard at all the stuff you post.
Thank you, Cobbett.
I think you're a very, very, very funny comedic voice. And you know who you come highly recommended from? By?
Who?
Our mutual friend, Anthony Farrell.
Hey!
Writer for The Office, director, multi-visioner, the talent who works in the Canadian film industry, showrunner extraordinaire, recommended you. You have a friendship with him? You guys work together or do stand-up?
And Anthony's absolutely prolific.
He's a big fan of yours.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. Yeah. He's amazing. And I like the people he surrounds himself with. I don't know if you guys know Sadia Durrani, but she's a writer who works with him.
Yeah. He mentioned her, I think.
Yeah. Sadia's great. Yeah. I met her shortly after I met Anthony. But yeah, and we're all in the same agency as well. We're all with Ambition, which is kind of nice.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah. Nice.
It's good to have Ambition.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great to have ambition on your side.
Yeah.
My agency is called Reluctance, and so it doesn't work as well. Thank you for joining us for this. Thank you for joining us for this ridiculously awful, frustrating movie. I don't know how familiar you are with our format, but like for every 9 episodes, we do genuinely true Iranian films made by Iranian filmmakers, and the whole point of this podcast is to promote those films, bring more recognition to them, just talk about them and dissect them.
Well, by every 9, you mean 9 consecutive ones.
Yeah, 1 through 9, we do that. And then on the 10th film, we do what is formally called Hollywood Hit Job, where we'll bring a funny Iranian personality to essentially do the same thing, but with a more critical eye, for lack of a better word. And so we've done Argo in the past. We've done Not Without My Daughter. We've done... what else have we done, Farn?
Prince of Persia.
And House of Sand and Fog.
House of Sand and Fog, yes. And we have to do 3.
Foad said that he liked that one.
That was my favorite one.
He said the rest were garbage, but that one he liked.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I thought they were a little weak. I thought the House of Sand and Fog one was the strongest one. Great. And I was really excited for the Prince of Persia one. I'm like, oh, this is going to be gold. And like, it was kind of, I was like, oh man, you guys have so much to work with.
Do you think we should have roasted it harder?
I think so. And also, I thought you guys were great. I thought some of your guests were a little less than enthusiastic about like the subject matter, and I'm like, you guys can lean in a little bit, like have some fun with it. I mean, and look,
well,
you got access to what I wrote. You can see how much I wrote. It didn't feel like anyone else wrote anything down.
I'm not looking at anything you wrote. I'm gonna keep it surprise.
Good. So you've put the bar up very high for yourself. So you have to make this the best Hollywood hit job, which
Boom,
is good.
Let's go. I got jokes. Let's get into it.
And also, I think
he's like, what's the deal with Persian rugs?
Yeah. Well, they're not Persian.
The thing with like Argo and even like to a certain extent Prince of Persia, sometimes the films are like okay. They're like there's all these like problematic things to talk
as a
about
movie,
but the films,
yeah.
when the films themselves are watchable, it's harder to like really tear it apart because like Argo won an Oscar, and honestly, structurally, it's a fine movie to watch.
Prince of Persia also should have won many Oscars, you know?
All of them. Oh my god. With what's his the general from House of Sand and Fog made a cameo in Prince of Persia. It was crazy.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, I can't
Why
believe
is
they
Ben
got
Kingsley not in this movie in September's of Shiraz?
He should be. He should be the torturer guy. That would be that's a Ben Kingsley role. Are you kidding me? Because he gets all sympathetic at the end. He's like, actually, me and you, we are the same.
Or pair him up with Shohreh again and make him Shohreh's son.
Yes, that would be so good. Morteza!
Like, leave me alone, Mom!
Yeah, Mother! Oh, man.
Comment just got up and left.
Comment bounced. Yeah, so offended. He's like, how dare you? Sir Ben Kingsley, he's been knighted.
He's like, you guys haven't been knighted, you goddamn deadbeats.
You peasants.
Cobb's returned to defend himself.
My dog entered the room and started like squeaking his squeak toy so loud. I'm like, dude, you cannot do this in the middle of the podcast. So I had to replace it with a sock.
He heard us denigrating Ben Kingsley, and he's like, not on my watch.
Yeah.
It's either that or he heard Laura Loomer's name be brought up, and he's like, wait.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Please. Whatever I did, I'll never do it again.
All right, let me jump into plot summary,
Let's
and then we will just dive into reactions for September's of Shiraz. In the chaotic aftermath of the 1979 Iranian Revolution, wealthy Jewish gemologist Isaac Amin's comfortable life is torn apart when he is suddenly arrested and imprisoned by the Revolutionary Guards. Accused of crimes against the new order, Isaac endures brutal interrogations and shifting loyalties, all while his family scrambles to navigate a dangerous new reality. As friends turn to foes and the walls close in, Isaac must summon every ounce of cunning, courage, and sacrifice to find a way out before the revolution devours him and everything he loves. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 31%. And an audience score of 47%. Those are too high.
The audience liked it. Holy moly.
So I ask you, Foad, what did you think of September's of Shiraz?
Oh, man. Lots of problems. The one thing that came to mind as soon as the movie started and I see Adrian Brody was, I want to apologize to Jake Gyllenhaal. He can be Persian all he wants. If it's going to be between him and Adrian Brody, let's have Jake Gyllenhaal be our representation.
Yeah.
So Jake, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. We can change your last name to Gyllenhaal, and you'll be one of us.
Yeah.
And let's just bring you back. Yeah, Jalil, even better. We're so sorry, Jake. Come back. Be Persian all you want. We'll never doubt you again.
He stopped listening to us after the Prince of Persia podcast. Yeah. He was a big listener.
I'm out of here.
Hopefully we'll bring it back with this one. He's like, you know what? These guys really repented. They did their comeuppance.
Welcome back to the tribe.
I feel especially bad for Shohreh because, like, I feel like of the 3 of her movies that we've reviewed now,
I don't feel bad at all. I was actually starting to get frustrated to the point where I'm like, Shohreh, what are you doing?
Pick some roles, Shohreh.
Why are you involved in this movie?
Right? God damn it. You're like, you got some star power.
I mean, you got to put some bread on the table.
Yes, you got to pay the bills too. But
there are a lot of actual Iranians in this movie.
Are there a lot?
Yes.
I would say a lot. I think the movie was shot in Bulgaria. Some of the credits, like the people listed in the credits, I was like, oh, these names all look the same, and I started googling them. A lot of them were Bulgarian names, so I'm assuming the movie was shot in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
I don't know why I started off so angry with this movie. I mean, I know now, but it just like from the set, like I've never seen this film before, so watching it for this podcast was my first time watching it, and it did everything it needed to do to antagonize me early on. Like I already came in a bad mood. I'm like, okay, well maybe I'm already like putting this in a negative space without giving it a chance. It starts off with the opening quote on Rumi, which instantly I was like, knowing the direction this film's going to take and knowing the people behind it, I'm like, you have some audacity to fucking quote Rumi so far off the top.
Right?
And then right from Rumi, as you always normally would do, you nicely transition, as all Iranian films do, to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees,
right?
yeah. Because that's what he did in the 70s.
These two do not mesh. Like, I don't know why you think like a quote from Rumi instantly goes. And honestly, it's kind of interesting. Like, I think if an Iranian filmmaker had started their scene with like, it's Iran, it's 1979, we're starting with Staying Alive. I'm like, cool.
Like,
no, even if it was like an American, I'm like, cool, an American pop song. Like an Iranian take on that would be an interesting thing because you're subverting expectation.
Yeah.
But when an American production is doing it, I'm like, oh, I don't think you are thinking about this at all. Like you're not thinking about the subversive nature of making this movie. It's literally also the words being staying alive. Like it's so f***ing on the nose that instantly my triggers were like raised so high. I was so angry early on.
The first two people you see too are like clearly two very white women that I'm like
going into the
I'm
party.
like, oh, is this supposed to be? Yeah, I was like, oh, is this supposed to be like? Are we in like an embassy? Like, that's the vibe because it's like everybody's white. Yeah. Are these Brits? Because everybody's white. It's playing the Bee Gees. Like, it's a big opulent house. Like, that's the vibe, right? No, straight up supposed to all be running.
Yeah. Because I think the subtext here is that like the civilized progressive Persians were like the white ones, because then you go to the jail later and it's a lot of like dark complexion, like, quote unquote,
bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, interesting. So dark skin bad, eh? Very cool, telling, cool. Yeah, and just the whole like staying alive thing. I thought it was like ridiculous too, because it's like I think a lot of people just think that pre-Islamic regime Iran was just like discos and miniskirts, and everyone was just like the Shah, ha la la la, you know, like everything was just like everyone's frolicking through the street, and everyone's like, "Thank you for my oil check, Shah. Let me go spend this on some Louis Vuitton."
It's funny because it's like with that he goes. There was something else. Oh, hold on.
Wait, can I point one thing too?
Yeah,
Kava, you roast me for sometimes nitpicking the like smallest details when I'm watching movies because I like can't turn that shit off. The first two people who are walking into the room really set the tone for me, because like 4 times as they're walking into the room, they're like about to take their jacket off and then they put it back on and then they go to take it off and then they put it back, and I'm like, oh, they're like waiting for their cue. They're trying to hit the mark of where in their walk up they're supposed to take the jacket off. 100%. And at no point was the director like, cut, we have to redo it so you can like do that properly. And but if you watch it, you caught it too far, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. No, she's like holding her jacket from the back weirdly high up the whole time, and she's walking. And it's like, why are you walking like that? And it's like because she has to hit her mark and take the jacket off, but they didn't have enough to do during the walk, so she's like, I'll take it off. Oh wait, not yet. And it's like this weird game they're playing. And that's crazy that was the best take. Yeah, that's always the wildest thing when I see a movie. I'm like, that was crazy bad, and I'm like, that was the best option they had. That's nuts.
The first shot of the movie.
Wasn't that like an opening tracking shot too? Like
it was. They follow her into the house, and then they go into Adrian Brody's like lavish house where everyone's.
It's very reminiscent of the beginning of Boogie Nights, for instance.
Yes,
shot into the disco world. It's like he's doing that. But and the only reason I give you a shit about that, Farn, is you'll spot that, but then sometimes on the podcast I'll be like, isn't it crazy how she ended up killing her son? And you're like, what? She killed her son? I'm like, yeah, it's a major plot. Where you're like, oh, I must have had my head down taking notes at that point. I'm like, so you missed that, but you caught the jacket.
I was writing about the ladies who wouldn't hit their mark. Come on, man.
He's taking it up. So then here, the note I made was like, we're 3 minutes and 44 seconds in, and this film's done so many things to bother me. Like specifically, when they start speaking English, I'm like, oh, are they all speaking English? But then he's speaking in really bad and truly quite offensive Iranian fob accents.
It sounds like his accent from The Brutalist.
I was just
It's the
gonna
exact
say.
same
you're right.
accent.
It's a catch-all.
And I see why.
Yeah.
I see why they used AI to like fix his accent in The Brutalist. I'm like, this guy sucks. Like, just and it's crazy because
Oh, did they do that?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
AI.
I didn't know
His accent is like
Oh, I didn't know
elevated
that.
Yeah.
by AI. But there's
That's
I
why I
think
was
there's-
saying he should have been disqualified from the
Yes!
Best Actor nomination.
Oh my God, that's your job as the actor to do, like, at the very least,
Yeah.
do the accent, you know, sort of thing, and do it well. And I'm like, he's already doing the accent here. Was this also AI? Like, what's going on? But it's
Yeah.
it's very Eastern European accent. Aside, the only part of his accent I liked was the TH sounds. The tanks. He did the tanks.
Oh, tanks. Yeah, tanks. Yeah, he does
tanks,
that.
tanks for that. And I was like, oh, that's
Thanks
a
for
good
that.
one. But everything else is like, what? Where you go? I'm like, I don't know.
That was really good.
Transylvania?
That's exactly what he sounds like.
Yeah, you know, and it's almost like Transylvania, kind of like half the Persians in the movie were
Yeah.
like, we need to go this way. And I'm like, what? Who's talking like that? Bro, is that Dracula? Like,
And Salma
Bound to
Hayek
suck your
being
blood.
like, you don't know Habibi.
the Habibis. Habibis and Yalla. Yeah, Habibi and Yalla. And,
Habibi.
and all her P's are B's. You look so pretty. Why are you
Yeah.
being so busy?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, is she Arabic? I mean, I know she is.
I had to turn on subtitles specifically because Adrian Brody was mumbling like way too much.
Yes.
That I was like, what is he saying? And then Salma
Yeah.
Hayek's weird like mix of like a Spanish, Arabic, Persian, English accent. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should mention off the top too that Salma Hayek and Adrian Brody are your two leads. They effectively play a married. They're playing a married couple. They're a husband and wife with a small child, and they're both playing Iranians. They're both. I mean, they just didn't want to cast Iranians in the lead, other than Shohrib, who I wouldn't even say that. That's like
No, that's supporting at best.
Yes, it's supporting at best, exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this thing always bothers me. It's like, if they're speaking English, then we're living in the world of the film, and they didn't want to have it so that they're having like
Yeah.
subtitles and stuff. Fine, then don't have accents because
Literally.
you're not speaking English, and everybody
yeah.
in the scene is Iranian.
Yeah.
So like, there's a film called "In the Hunt for Red October," or no, it might be U-571. There's a scene where like the entire thing, they wanted to do the whole film in English, but like nobody was speaking English at that time on that boat, right, on the submarine. So what they did is they have this like news report happening in Russian, and the camera zooms in. I think it's a really great device. The camera zooms in on the television, and as this guy's speaking Russian, it all of a sudden switches mid-sentence to English, and it zooms out, and now the world is in English, but you're supposed to be like, we've turned on a switch, and now you're understanding the Russian.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're all speaking Russian, you're just hearing it as English.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So if
Valkyrie
you're
do a
doing
similar
this in this
thing?
film-
Yes.
What?
Doesn't Valkyrie do a similar
Yes.
thing where they're
Yeah.
speaking like
Yes.
old German
Yeah.
and then it
German
transitions into English?
To English. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're just listening to German, but we understand it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if you're doing this for this film, if the intention is they are all speaking Farsi and you're hearing it as English, why are we hearing accents?
Yeah.
Like, don't
Because
do
they're not
the
speaking
accents.
English.
Just
They're
speak.
speaking Farsi.
Yeah.
We just hear it.
They're
Yeah.
all speak. Yeah. So it's like that little, like, even that kind of like disconnect of logical thinking from a creative standpoint is
Absolutely.
already increasingly frustrating.
Yeah.
So
For
like
sure.
we're 3 minutes in, we're 3 minutes and 44 seconds in, and there's been 4 things that have like genuinely gotten my blood boiling.
And I think this is the difference between representation and tokenization, right? Because like a white person sees us or like sees versions of us with the accents, like, oh, they sound like that across the board. And it's like, we sound like that because we're speaking your language, buddy. You know, like
Yeah.
we're using the same intonations and sounds
Yeah,
from
yeah.
our language in your language. That's why it sounds different. But it's like, there's a lot of Iranians like us who like have accents just like this Wayne guy does, but he doesn't see that, right? He's like, oh yeah, the ones I see are like, hello, how are you? What are you doing today?
Yeah,
Oh,
and as a result, it makes everyone in the movie sound ignorant
yes,
because everyone's English is broken and they're saying things wrong and whatever that you're like, no,
Absolutely.
in their own language, they're going to be like
articulate.
masters of the language, articulate, like they're going to be smart. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's another filmmaker that I know who is making a movie set in Iran, but they did it in English. And I was like, they were like, well, our demo isn't festivals, it's like mass market, whatever. I was like, it might be a good idea to consider some kind of narrative device, like what Kaveh was talking about. And one of my recommendations was start the movie off with like either a scene or a VO or something where it's like this Iranian person is telling the story, because then when you're getting into the English, then it's like, okay, they're telling the story in English, but it's coming from the perspective of an Iranian who is there.
Yeah.
Like some narrative device would work.
Name names. Who's the filmmaker?
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you when the movie's out.
Yeah.
This movie's called Enemy Territory in other regions, which is also offensive, but also confusing, because when the title came out for my version and Foad, you had this version too, right? Where it says Enemy Territory.
Yeah.
I just instantly was like, what is happening? And I had to do a quick Google, and I realized that it's called that on Netflix. They call it that, but not like British. It's just a regional thing.
Yeah.
Just some regions call this Enemy Territory, which is also more offensive.
According to IMDb, that's the American title.
Okay.
We can go into it like specifics later on, but this movie also fundamentally, in my opinion, as a professional writer, fails as a thriller. Like just
absolutely.
on top of everything.
Yeah.
Like for all the
100%.
reasons we can give Argo its flowers, because like, okay, it's like this part's like whatever. It's like a successful thriller, political thriller.
Yeah.
This is not even a good, in my opinion, action thriller. The beats fall flat.
So flat.
It's so sloppily put together.
So many of
There's
the
no
beats are
momentum.
repeated. I felt like that.
Yeah,
I felt like a lot of the prison like interrogation scenes were like the same scene over. Like we're not getting any
Over
new
and over
information.
again.
I'm like, it's just him being tortured again. I'm like, what
Yeah.
did we learn? What's the new information in this scene? Nothing.
The third act escape is just them driving
For like 20 minutes.
Small, like little hesitation. Yeah, for 20 minutes, there's like a small hesitation here. Then they go out into the forest, and then it's just there wasn't really much thought.
It should have been a short film.
It should have been like an hour 30.
Up.
It should not.
Not even an hour 30 is too long. It should have been like I don't know, like 15
45.
minutes short, 10 minutes short.
Yes. Yeah, 45 minutes max.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the whole back end, like 20 minutes, it's like a 20-minute montage. It's insane. I'm like, wow, you guys really stretched it. Why did you stretch this out so much? Were you trying to like rack up the budget or something? What's going on?
Yeah.
The thing that pissed me off too is I spoke with one of the actors who was part of the film.
Yes.
Anthony Azizi, shout out.
Brody.
He plays Mehdi. Yeah, Mehdi. He's one of the other people in the cell.
Yeah,
There were tons of deleted scenes that, from the way that he was explaining to me, were like way more interesting. That I'm like, why were those not included in the film instead of like all this other shit? And what I had kind of pieced together was the director was a little spiteful.
Of course.
And if he like
Of
like just in general, like if he got into beef with somebody, he was like more likely to just like
cut your
leave
scenes.
them on the cutting room floor.
Wow.
It was like,
even if it makes a movie better, he's like, no, f- you.
yeah.
I don't
My
know.
movie.
I don't know. Like, yeah, some of the other scenes that he was telling me about, I was like, oh, that's like more interesting. It's more nuanced, whatever. And like, no, the movie is just 2 hours of Adrian Brody having interrogation after interrogation. And it's all the same scene.
Yeah.
We also should mention that the very specific, poignant POV is it's a story about a Jewish Iranian family,
An affluent Jewish Iranian.
upper class, affluent Iranian Jewish family, and there'll be stuff you'll go into about behind the scenes and stuff about that. But it's just an interesting, like this film. It's based on a book, but not a memoir. Like not quite a memoir, but based on this writer's. What's her name? It was
Sophia something?
Dahlia Sofer.
Dahlia Sofer, that's it.
Dahlia Sofer. So her, I guess, somewhat experience of this. She is a Jewish Iranian woman who was born in Tehran and then left and grew up in New York. And we'll get into those specifics too. But it's just really interesting to point out that unlike something like Not Without My Daughter, this is not considered a one-for-one retelling memoir of like this happened.
No, this is very fictionalized. It's a work of fiction like set in a historical setting. Because like none of these people are real. Even the guy Vartan, who's like in the singer that's in jail with him, I thought he was like a real dude. He's not a real dude. None of these people are real.
No, none of them.
Yeah,
none of what the characters experienced in this happened to the
but it says
writer
based on true events, you know.
Yeah,
but
she might as well put dragons in the story.
Literally,
she could have gone way
off. It's fantastical. It's not, and honestly, like
Seymour shows up in the prison.
I don't even know how Iranian she is, man. Like I left Iran when I was 4, and like I know we don't say Habibi, we don't say Yallah.
Well, the Habibi thing, that's the character's name.
Oh.
Shohra's name is Habibeh.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Let me ask you this.
I had no idea.
Let me ask you this, though. The constant use with the subtitles, even they're like, oh, no, not subtitles. In the language, like, you have to forgive me, brother. You have to give this brother. I'm
Yes.
like, we don't say brother that much to each other as much as they're putting it in the
I'm gonna defend the movie on this. During the revolution, a lot of these like super Islami guys did. Yeah, they all called each other Baradar, and it was like part of their like the
language.
Like the like political speak at the time. Was if
like
you're
we're
in
all
line with the
connected.
government, you use Baradar and you use Khahar to each other.
Yeah.
Was it only
like
in the
part
scenes
of the
with the IR
indoctrination.
agents, though?
Yeah.
Was it not like outside of those scenes too, though, that they're calling it like when he's speaking to his
Only the people who were like aligned
Yeah.
politically with the
I
IRGC.
see, okay.
Adrian Brody starts to adopt it because he picks up in the scene. He's like, "Oh,
He
this
starts
is
playing him.
He's
Yeah.
doing it to assimilate.
Yeah.
What about the clan masks? Is that a thing when they all wore the KKK masks? The interrogation?
So I've
If
seen
my-
photos of it.
See, if my father had been alive today, I would have definitely asked him about this because, and I'll get into this specifically later on, but this is very like almost beat for beat what happened to my dad. But we're not a Jewish Iranian family. My dad literally was, these guys could arrest you for whatever reason. And my dad owned an architecture firm and they asked him to fire the non-Islamic workers there and he refused to. So like, okay, come in for questioning. They held him for 8 months. So a lot of what my dad had told me about his experiences are very similar to this. But I would have loved to ask if they wore clan masks to cover their face and then smoked cigarettes through the cloth of the clan mask, because I thought that was such a funny visual image that like this guy suddenly loses all integrity. He looks like a little like mascot ghost or something. Like the fact that he refuses to take off his mask and smoke a cigarette through a pretty thick cloth, I imagine, would not be that satisfying to smoke a cigarette.
No.
They have it here.
The cloth mask thing, my understanding is it was only in the like that first year of the revolution. Because it was still like kind of uneasy. They didn't know like where the
It's their ICE
power
agents.
was going to lie as things.
It's their ICE agents.
Yeah.
essentially.
But once they kind of consolidated power, then they're like, we don't need this shit anymore.
Right.
They're
What are
like,
you gonna
we're the
do?
ones with the guns. yeah.
Yeah.
It's what will happen in the US in like a year.
Yeah.
They no longer need to hide their face.
I mean, so far, yeah, that's true.
So then what are your thoughts on Shohreh's character? Like I am curious. What frustrates me to no end, especially at the beginning, is she becomes the voice for the IR.
Yes.
Like, especially early on. She's the one main Iranian lead is all of a sudden echoing the problems or like the issues that the truly Islamic revolutionaries had.
Yeah.
So I
have
was
one
pretty
major note
annoyed.
about Shohreh's character.
Go.
Is throughout the entire film, we established and we showed that she's so religious, right?
Okay.
And then in this scene where they do they break out the wine and they're drinking whatever, she takes a shot of the alcohol and she goes Basalamati. I was like, no shot in hell would this person do that, pun intended.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Chadari to like Basalamati Betcha.
yeah. And it's not even like she leaves Islam, because then like the very next scene, she's holding up a Quran over their head while they like walk out of the thing, and she's fully. And I'm like, no, this person would not do one would not drink the shot. Two would not say Salamati even she did drink the shot.
Yes. No, she would be like. But I think the subtext there is like. Because by then she'd been victimized by Islam too, and I feel like again the subtext is the only way that like Persians and brown people in general can be like progressive and good is if they've also been oppressed by Islam. Because then the whole thing with Mohsen,
with her,
the torture was the same, and her son, right? But Mohsen was the same. It's like, oh, I've also been persecuted, and I've like felt like the wrath of this. That's why I'm like a decent person now. And the only way I can like be a decent person is if I first suffered under like the hammer of Islam, and then I can be like, oh no, I've seen the error of my ways, kind of thing. Because up until that point, she was like very antagonistic, like. But she's like, alcohol is illegal now, and she's like, this is my house. She's like, yeah, well, it's a fact. Bitch.
Yeah.
See you later.
Well, that scene in particular, it's like she's all of a sudden got the audacity not to tell the woman, like she's the kolfat of the house, and she's like telling her, you have to put that away, you can't drink that wine. It's like, what? This is some spine she's developed over like the last couple days or weeks. Yeah, it's that thing really upset me. This film just kept finding new and new ways to anger me and frustrate me.
It's crazy propaganda.
And again, going back to the structure of it, at one point I clocked 40 minutes in. I'm like, nothing's happened yet. Like he's been arrested. Like the one story beat is he's been arrested. And now I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh, it's like 41 minutes into the movie. And like the story hasn't progressed beyond like, okay, so now what?
I wrote my first note. This is straight up boring. nothing is happening. Second note, the characters are way too passive.
Yeah, nothing, literally nothing's happening. Like the whole inciting incident is someone snatching him and taking him away.
Yeah, nothing happens, and when things do happen, it happens to them. Like the main characters don't do anything
they make
themselves.
No choices. Yeah, they just like exist. It's so funny too that like every terrible script I've written, everyone's like, "Hey, the characters are really passive. Like this will never get made." And then this piece of garbage gets made. I'm like, "Who read this?" And was like, but clearly they just saw the propaganda of like, "Oh, Iranians bad. Let's make this." I don't give a fuck. There's no story here.
Well. That speaking of propaganda, I wrote my note was this is the passion of the Christ for spreading anti-Iranian hate and Islamophobia.
Yeah,
because this film does like to revel in the torture of what they've done to him again and again. It's like look how it's like you know the way like
Passion of the Christ too.
Yeah. Mel Gibson made a movie about Christ and not talk about like the good acts he did or the good things, the virtues
just the
of
torture.
Christianity. She was like, look how much they freaking tortured him and like what they've done. And this is what this movie's doing to them. It's like, look what these Iranians have done to this Jewish Iranian character, which is like, we'll come back to the fact that
Iranian man.
Yeah. It's like, don't forget, essentially this film is putting on the thing of saying like they targeted the Jews and that's what the Islamic Revolution was
100%.
about. It's like there was like. This was happening to everybody for whatever reason. Like this was not a Jewish or Muslim problem.
But I think if they wanted to show some nuance, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say they only did this to the Jews in Tehran because apparently the Jews in Isfahan have been chilling this whole time, and like the Islamic Republic is like, you're okay, Isfahani Iranian Jews, Tehrani Iranian Jews, you guys, we don't hate like the Jews around here, but like the Isfahanis are okay. Like, what are you talking about?
One of my friends, I don't need to call him out by name, but I was talking to him specifically about this film last night, and he was saying. He lived in Iran until he was like grade 2 or 3, but he said he remembers growing up with Jewish friends, Iranian Jewish friends in Iran, and they're like they were getting the government would give them access to their temples. The temples were free safe haven, like they were allowed to practice their creed. To the fact that they were allowed to drink wine too for Shabbat. So it's they were the only sect of people. We're talking late 80s Iran, maybe early 90s, like 91, 92. They were like, so it's like not only were they not persecuted for being
but
Jewish,
like given
in Iran
special rights, be like, hey,
they were given, they were like
religious rights,
space,
Yeah, Christians too.
Yeah, Christians.
Even Zoroastrians like somehow got like a little bit of a pass on some of the stuff, despite the fact that they're like technically pagans as far as Islam is concerned.
It was just the Baha'i that got. Dude.
Yes,
there was like the only religion they seemed to have an issue with was
like,
your people.
These guys in particular,
we're too new. They're like, wait, where did you guys come from? We are the last one.
So he eventually gets out because he's going to pay money. He's very wealthy. He pays everything he has to get out, and then the film meanders along. The only thing of like a slight story arc that's like even mildly interesting, if not still offensive, is this idea of like Shohreh's son has quickly become converted to the cause.
Yes.
He was a boy that was like raised by this family.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of an interesting emotional dynamic
see, like,
there.
they could have played that up more.
They could have
you
played
know
that
what
up.
I mean?
Of course they
like
could.
imagine if he had like a sweet tender relationship with the little girl. You know what I mean?
Especially
at the beginning of the movie,
when they had
and then
the party.
it's challenged later.
Yes. Yeah. Or like the little girl falls and he like runs to pick her up. Are you okay? And it's like really caring and loving to her. And then
treats her like a sister, all this stuff. Or another thing for me too, I was like, there was an opportunity to explore some nuance here, where if you had a poor Jewish family, right, you can see the difference between how a poor Jewish family was treated, and how an affluent Jewish family was treated, or then show like an affluent Christian or Muslim family or like agnostic family or whatever, because the main thing here, the main reason that they're going after this family is not because they're Jewish.
Yeah.
It's because they're wealthy and they're not aligned with the government.
They're imperialists.
So if you're
they're monarchists.
So if you're a wealthy monarch, if you're a poor monarchist, they'll probably leave you alone. But if you're wealthy and a monarchist, or wealthy and like not aligned with the government, they will look for whatever. They'll be like, your fence is too high. We have to bring you in for questioning or something.
Absolutely.
And while you're in there, they'll torture you. They'll go into your house, steal all your shit, and be like, okay, you're free to go.
Because
And the film would probably,
I was just gonna say, even in the story, they abandoned the whole like Jewish subplot of like, because the interrogator is like, "Oh, you've been to Israel? Do you know about Mossad?" And he's like, "No, I just had family there." And they're like, "Okay, we'll never talk about that again. Don't worry, I believe you." And I'm like, "Oh, so you've even dropped like the whole Jewish persecution thing? It's just now a thing of like him." But they really try to be like, "But he's Jewish. Did you know that Muslims are bad to Jews?" And I'm like, "Hey, did you guys know that in Europe the internal enemy was the Jew and the external enemy was the Muslim, and they're two sides of the same coin, but somehow that flipped, and now it's like the Muslims are the outside and like the Jews are on the inside." But sure, whatever.
There was also the element. Well, because then after they got rid of that subplot, the film would argue that it's like, oh, we did bring up the enemies of the Shah because there's a really clumsy use of this letter that is like now going to be like the hanging threat
comes
of,
out
like,
of nowhere.
It's like
Where did that come
it's a letter.
from? Where was
it's a letter where he was.
Oh my God!
He was thanking the queen for like services they did for jewels.
She thanked him. She was thanking him for the jewels. She's like, "Thank you for my necklace. It was great."
It's so flimsy because they don't need that letter to persecute you. Like they clearly have showed that they would do it regardless.
They will find
this letter doesn't
any
matter.
reason.
Yeah, they'll find any reason. So like. It's like, oh, if the guy finds this letter and reads it, they're gonna rearrest you. It's like they just already arrested you for without the letter. Like, like why is this thing a threat?
I've had conversations with friends where they're like, "Farhan, why won't you go to Iran?" And I'll give them like 10 reasons why they'll arrest me. They'll be like, "Honestly, if they want to arrest you, they will find a reason to arrest you. They don't
Doesn't
care.
matter. Yeah, they're not going to be like, oh, well, we don't have jurisdiction. He didn't break it. Like, no, they'll find a reason to get you, man.
Yeah.
They're not, and even the
Those
dude
shoes
who
are
lets
contraband.
him go,
You're coming with us.
100%. What is this? I'm going to call you Shul. Get out of here. Yeah. Even the jailer guy was like, if they catch you again, I won't be able to help you, which implies that they can catch you for nothing, like.
Yeah.
So the letter being like the nail in the coffin. I'm like, dude, what are you talking? And where did that letter come from? Can we at least see it in the beginning to be like, oh, I love this letter that the queen gave me in my safe.
Or it's like framed in the store or
something.
Someone comes by, they're like, oh wow, like they're buying something for their daughter. Yeah, they're buying something for their daughter or whatever, and they're like, wow, that's the letter or whatever.
From the queen that she sent to you when you made her necklace. Yeah. Is that enough exposition? Okay, see you later.
It's for these reasons. Like we've already done a better job of like making the script feel better and like have better flow. And it's for these reasons that I actually feel, and this is worth debating. I really want to know your thoughts, Farhan and Foad. If you've seen Not Without My Daughter, have you seen Not Without My Daughter?
Oh, a long time ago.
You're not missing. Don't worry. But I think this is a more egregious film than Not Without My Daughter because Not Without My Daughter has that personal connection of like this woman's
it's a real story.
daughter was taken from her husband. Yeah, yes. and like the threat of losing your daughter in a foreign land that you're not a citizen of is genuinely tense and terrifying. Scary, despite whatever. It doesn't have to be a story about the government. It could just be about one man having taken your child.
Literally.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
So for all of the stuff that we brought up in that episode, and all the flaws, there's a general inherent tension that is like personal to her and specific. So it's a story.
So to you're saying this is more egregious than Not Without My Daughter?
Yes.
Interesting.
This frustrates me more. I think this is more.
For me, it's the opposite, but go on.
Why?
Because like even Adrian Brody's family, as much as we're like dogging on them, it's like, oh, look, they're like normal-ish people. You know what I mean? Not Without My Daughter, every single Iranian character in that movie, with the exception of like the one guy who's played by an Indian guy, is like batshit crazy, like barbaric.
But this film does
like,
that too.
Slitting the throats of like goats in the street. They're all going, la 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 la. Like the whole time as people are walking through the street, it's like.
This film does that too with the caveat of saying the people who are normal people are Jewish Iranians.
Yes.
And it's making that distinction.
So it's not just Islamic, right?
They're non-Islamic Iranians. So it's like your victims and your heroes of this story are Iranians and they're decent and they're like they're civilized and all this stuff, but they're Jewish Iranians. And I don't think this film needed to make that distinction.
No.
Because what happened to the Iranian people was not a subjugation of the Jewish Iranian people. It was a subjugation of class and a lot of people for whatever reason. So you sneezed the wrong way. So by doing that, I think it becomes more offensive.
Yeah, just subjugation of like all Iranians is what happened. It wasn't like a specific group.
And there are groups that were like systemically oppressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you were queer, you were systemically oppressed. If you're a woman, as a woman, you're systemically oppressed.
Yeah,
if you're Baha'i, you're systemically oppressed. Like there's groups that were in fact systemically oppressed.
Yeah, but none of those groups are in this to be like, hey, look at these like systemic. It's just like this fantasy of like, oh, did you know Iranians hate Jews? And it's like, there's a lot of Iranian Jews. What are you talking about, dude?
Fuad, to your point, there are deleted scenes where they talk about the other groups that were systemically oppressed, and that was removed from the movie.
Yeah. Because we can't let them know that anyone else was targeted. It's specifically Jews. They just hate Jews because that's the narrative. People from the Middle East hate Jews, even though that's where they come from.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think, Farhan, like any defense you'd make about the characterization of Iranians that are like good, decent, hardworking, civilized people, it still is marred by the fact that they were deciding to make them specifically distinct.
Yeah.
They were like not of the common cloth of Iranian people. Like the Jewish Iranians were minorities in Iran. So you're not showing non-Jewish Iranians acting like civil. Shorta Aghdashloo is non-Jewish Iranian in this film. She's a monster for 2/3 of the film. Yeah, she has like a character moral turn, but her son is awful. Yeah. Every other Iranian there is a torturer.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like it just is not a fair representation. And I think at least not without my daughter, it's her personal experience. Yeah, it's been heightened for cinema and probably made it look. But you could also argue that from her eyes, they all look like this. From the woman's eyes whose daughter was taken, like you can say, like that's
people trying to snatch your kid.
She lived
100%.
Yeah.
But
so
I agree.
think this frustrates me more than Not Without My Daughter for those reasons. Last thing I will say on this film is the film ends with a quote saying this is dedicated to the film is dedicated to all the families of the world who have endured persecution. And my note to that was that is such a wide blanket that is a meaningless nothing statement.
Yeah. You might as well just say rape is bad. Like, we got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or this could be saying this could have ended with like it saying this film is dedicated to all the people of the world. Like what? What are you talking? Like this is a nothing statement.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think they're real. Like, what does that mean to be? This is dedicated to the families of the world who have endured persecution. Like every country has done persecuted people. Like, who's this film for?
Right.
And I almost feel like it's like I don't know if they spent too much time overthinking that quote or not any time at all, but it almost seemed like, okay, should we say this is dedicated to the Iranians who have faced persecution? No, we shouldn't say that. Should we say it's about the dedicated to the people who sought refuge? No, it's like what they didn't know how to end this movie and who to dedicate this film to. And it just ends as a joke.
And
like,
it doesn't need a dedication. I didn't feel like that movie. I was like, you know what would really close out this story right now is if it was dedicated to someone. I'm like, this movie sucks.
Your film's not good enough. Your film's not good enough to be dedicated.
As someone whose family has repeatedly experienced persecution in Iran, I reject it. I don't want this.
No, thank you. I just scratched my name off the dedication.
Yeah.
I remember when this film came to TIFF. I think I was working. I was volunteering at TIFF. Yeah, I remember.
Oh
seeing
my
it,
god!
My mom immediately sensed something was amiss. I was like, "Oh, there's a new Iranian film. Oh, good actors in it." Oh, this is 2007?
15, 2007. Oh my god, 2015.
2015.
This would make sense in 2007. 2015 is egregious.
Right. Yeah. I was told really quickly, I'm like, I don't watch that movie. My mom was like, something doesn't seem right. I've heard not great things.
Also, does the movie take place in Shiraz? I thought it took place in Tehran.
No. There's no Shiraz in it.
It's because they met in Shiraz, I believe. Their whole, because she does the little backstory. Right. She's like, I remember when I met your husband, my dad, I met your dad, my husband in Shiraz in September. Yeah. I think that was the whole thing. Like, they just happened to meet in September in Shiraz. Right. But it has nothing to do with Shiraz, has nothing to do with September. Because I was like, when did the Islamic Revolution happen? It was in January. I'm like, what is this title, dude?
Yeah. The movie takes place in August, though. They could have at least set the movie forward by, although he's in prison for a while.
He is, but
we
would have blown past September in no time if he's in there for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't.
Also, I love that he's in jail for months. And the only thing that happens, he grows a little bit of stubble.
A little bit.
And then when he goes to the bank, his hair's the same. A little bit of stubble goes to the bank, and the guy, the bank manager, doesn't recognize him at first because of the little bit of stubble. I'm like, it was the amount of stubble was so minuscule that I forgot that he was clean shaven at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. And it's so funny because he's just like, "Can I help you, sir?" And he's like, "It's me, it's Hawk." He's like, "Oh, I see it now. Wow, it just took you saying your name. I couldn't have known who it was." I'm like, what? And also that bank manager was one of those like Transylvania guys, like, Itzhak, right, this way, I will take you to your money. And I'm like, who is this dude? Is that Dracula working at the bank?
Yeah.
What's that?
Also, why is no one calling him Eshog? Like, at least like use his actual like Persian name.
Or Eshol, which is what I felt when I was watching it.
Yeah, because this movie sucked for sure.
Behind the scenes and trivia. You have some stuff you want to say, Farm, but let me just do some
hit
short
me with
ones
yours.
quick.
Yeah.
So Dahlia Sofer wrote the book. She was born in Tehran and was raised in a Jewish family during the Revolution. And at age 11, she moved to New York. She later studied French literature at NYU with a minor in creative writing, and she received an MFA in Sarah Lawrence College. Her first novel, Septembers of Shiraz, was published in 2007. That's why I was thinking of 2007. But she's a recipient of the 2008 Penn Robert W. Bingham Prize for this book. She also won a 2007 Whitting Award for fiction. She won a lot of awards for this film.
Whoa.
In 2009, the novel was selected for the 8th annual Austin, Texas Mayor's Book Club Challenge. This is the same route that Not Without My Daughter took. It was the fetishization and
yes,
it was a fetishization that validated the fears of American people towards the barbaric Iranians.
and then using the like based on true events to be like, see, this is real. Whereas like it's not even
Clearly,
they can't even say based on a true story because it's not based on a true story. It's just like various events mashed together.
This was exactly the route that Not Without My Daughter took, to the point where it's clear cut that in the U.S., if you want to sell a book, just write something where the Middle Easterners look like savage, barbaric animals.
Yeah.
And they eat that up. They love that stuff. White America loves having the Chardonnay sitting on the bed and just reading about how uncivilized Iranians are.
Absolutely, because then
West Asians,
as soon as and it's across the world actually, they prefer to hear us in like these barbaric states, because then in their minds they can go ahead and be like, well, it was justified that we colonized them because they're all backwards barbarians to begin with, and if we didn't, they were gonna like turn on each other and rip each other apart. So it's in their best interest for us to come in and control these savages. So that's why this narrative of like, see, they are backwards, they fucking scalp you, they cut your throat, they want to touch your daughters and stuff, and it's like, people do that here also. You understand that, right? Like,
Laura Loomer shot her dog.
Literally. Literally.
South Park did a great thing of it.
Wait, is it Laura Loomer? Am I getting the person wrong? Is it
No,
Laura
you're
Loomer?
getting it's the other
It's the
one.
other one.
The other one.
Yeah, it's the ice lady.
Laura Loomer, I apologize.
It's the ice lady.
It's Christy Nome.
Yeah, yeah.
Christy
Nome.
Nome, that's
Yes.
right. Laura Loomer is the 30-year-old who looks like she's 65.
Yes, with all the weird face stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all have weird face stuff.
They do
Everyone
have weird
has
stuff.
weird
Yeah.
face.
All these American politicians have weird faces.
Gerard Butler is a producer of this film.
What?
The actor. Somehow, I guess he just invested or helped something happen.
He was in 300, and he's like, you know what? Those Persians really do suck.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that was so funny too. In 300, they were so homophobic, and like the Spartans were the gayest, like militantly gay. To the point where they would like, just a quick aside, I don't know if you guys know this, the Spartan mating ritual is they would put the woman in a room, keep it nice and dark. Then the Spartan suitor would come in, shave her head, kidnap her, have sex with her to impregnate her, and then bring her back. And the reason they shave their heads is so it looks like he's fucking a dude from behind. Because that's how gross it was to have sex with a woman for these guys. That they're like, oh, pussy.
Can't get cooties.
Yeah. But like, if it's a dude, I could rail a dude for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
And
all of this
only for
is due to the
procreation.
cooties. It's due to the cooties pandemic of 600 BC.
Yes.
Many
So
Spartans died.
So that's Gerard Butler for you.
So he puts the butt in Butler. Got it.
Yeah.
In several, here's some quick errors. You love this, Farn. This is for you specifically. Some
hit me.
Anachronistic errors. In several scenes in Tehran, there's like a tall tower. It's the Tehran International Tower. It wasn't built till 2003. And it's in the background of this film constantly. This film was shot in Bulgaria. So when Farnos goes to the railway, you see the logo of the Bulgarian railway logo go by.
Love it.
In the background. There's stuff like air conditioners can be seen, and like the license plates aren't correct. There's like tissue boxes and all these things that like just the shapes and the style of all those things they have are just not like, there wasn't those air conditioners that you see in the background, and the glasses that Salma Hayek wears are like they weren't popular at the time. Like people didn't have access to those glasses, so it's like they literally would take like glasses from 5 years ago and use them for the production set. Like here's your glasses that you're gonna be wearing. Like no thought went into like, it was this worn at the time? Was this a style? Was this like anything? Just like here's the glasses you're gonna be wearing. That's really all I had stuff for behind the scenes trivia. Farn, you want to talk about anything?
Yeah, there's a few things. I mean, I can mention a couple more of the consistency mistake things that I'm like, that's not right. Like the borders that they're escaping through are like wooded and forestal and like lush green hills and stuff.
Right.
No Iranian border looks like that. All the way around the country.
Can I just say also, as someone who is actually smuggled out of Iran into Turkey and then again into Greece, that's not what that border looked like when I did it. So
yeah.
And I was 4 years old. I remember this as a 4-year-old, guys. Okay, that's how traumatic this shit was, and I remember what that place looks like. Okay,
they literally could have like shot that scene like 3 hours out of LA, and they could have gotten away with it.
Oh my god, yeah, totally.
They like went out of their way to shoot this in some like wooded, lush green like hills and shit, and I'm like,
it was probably in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, yeah, it's Bulgaria. Yeah. It's literally Bulgaria. They're like, this looks like what Turkey looks like. Let's go. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Yeah. Why was the ground so dry, guys? I was like chest high in water. I remember being like freezing at 4 a.m.
Oh wow!
With my mom and like my sister in like a little raft. And the smuggler.
This is already more interesting. This is more interesting story.
Let's make this a movie. Let's go, guys.
Now, what would your Septembers of Shiraz title be then?
Man, Septembers of Cabernet. Let's go.
Wait, Memoirs of Merlot. Okay, go on. That's the
when they're shooting at Adrian Brody in that scene, there's no shot in hell, pun intended, that he wouldn't get hit.
Yes.
Those guns are not that accurate. They're not like sniper rifles. They're automatic guns that they're like shooting in bursts. He would have been hit.
Yes, he would have been Even some of the bullets like looked like they popped behind him. I'm like,
that's it.
Yeah, they were squibs.
So they're done with like little explosive squibs that shoot outwards so that you don't see. No, but that's also one of those things. It's very noticeable that you can see that they're being exploded out rather than being punctured in.
Yes,
It's like another anachronistic.
Yeah, someone's shooting it exactly from the other side. It's like, what's happening with this wall? Like,
Yeah. Okay, in one source that I had read, it was an earlier source when she had like written the book. It said that her father was not imprisoned and was not tortured. I later found another source with Wall Street Journal that in that one in an interview she said that he was imprisoned and was tortured.
Okay,
so she changed her story?
Okay, I want to give her benefit of the doubt. I think it's more likely that whoever wrote the first article probably made a mistake. I will also say, though, that like...
That's quite an egregious mistake.
Yeah.
You had one job as a freaking...
I know. Which I wouldn't be surprised if that's why it was like specifically mentioned in the later interview to be like, yo, in an earlier interview, someone like missed this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Also, I was doing research into the way that Jews were treated following the revolution. And a lot of what I was reading was specifically about affluent Jews. It wasn't just about like Jews across the board.
And because a lot of the affluent Jews were monarchists. Like everyone who was affluent was a monarchist during the time of the Shah. It just makes sense that like that's the class you're in.
I mean, and even like from what I was reading, it was like regardless of political affiliation, what was happening was it was basically like a fire sale. Like anyone who was rich, revolutionaries would basically go and find reasons to go in and raid their shit. At the beginning, they were hands off of affluent Muslims. So that's true. At the beginning, in the first like year, which this is technically set in the first year of the revolution, it was hands off Muslims. So if you're an affluent Muslim, it was like, unless of course you were a monarchist Muslim.
Yes.
But if you were not a monarchist, if you were affluent but you were Muslim, they would leave you alone. But if you were Jewish or Christian, obviously, if you were Baha'i, if you were like non-religious, if you were Zoroastrian, if you were affluent, they were coming for your shit. They would find a reason to arrest you, keep you in jail, torture you, all this shit. While you're there, they would go in and raid your house for quote unquote evidence. And then
but they're just stealing.
Once they had raided all your shit, they would let you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it had more to do with the fact that these people... Yeah. It had more to do with the fact that these people were affluent and they were looking for whatever reason they could, and including if you were an affluent Jew, they would put on paper, oh, you're under investigation because we think that you might be a spy for Israel, yada, yada, yada. For Christians, it was you might be a spy for the United States. yada yada.
It's whatever reason they could find. Like you said, it's like you said when they could, like, if I go, they'll arrest me for this, and that. It's like they'll arrest you for whatever. If they want to arrest you, they will find a reason. It's the same with this. It's like they were coming after you because you were wealthy, and like they found their reasons. And if it was because like, oh, you're Mossad, you're a CIA agent, you're this, but it's like whatever the excuse was, it was the same excuse across the board. It sounds like it's just they just switched like the skin on top of it from like CIA to Mossad to MI6 to whatever.
Yeah. After they had like kind of exhausted raiding as many rich people as they could, or a lot of the affluent people like fled and went to Europe and North America. Then they started going after affluent Muslims as well, including people who were revolutionaries. Because at that point, it's like, well, we already like raided all of them. I still want to get mine. So as more and more like people joined the Revolutionary Guard, they would just like look for as many rich people as they could to go and like raid their shit. And toss them out. As far as like systemic government mandated persecution of religions go, the number one target of that is Baha'is, which are the largest minority group outside, like the largest religious minority group in Iran. No mention of them in the movie.
No.
There was, which was deleted in an original, and they like shot it. It was deleted from the film. Also, other groups include. Women are obviously systemically persecuted. If you're queer, you're systemically persecuted. Also, if you leave Islam, regardless of if you leave to become Jewish, Christian, Zoroastrian, Baha'i, or atheist or whatever, you're persecuted systemically for that as well. But the movie doesn't talk about that either. It doesn't talk about how leaving Islam will lead to persecution.
No. Because I don't know. It feels like a lot of this is an extension of Israeli propaganda, because a lot of the producers on this were Israeli as well. But yeah, it's very much like this whole narrative.
Oh, I missed that in my research.
Yeah, a few of the actors actually, Navid, what's his face, Adrian Brody's brother, who like disappears for a while, and they're like, your brother's smuggling alcohol, where is he? And then she meets him at the train station. He's played by an Israeli.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a few Israelis in this movie as well, and I think the producers are like Israeli, or are like at the very least have connections to Israel and are like American Zionists. But yeah, it's very much this like Islam is bad and mean, and the only way that like brown people can be good is if they also have been under the boot of Islam, and like Islam hates Jews, and it's like absolutely ignoring the whole thing about like the Baha'i, all the other persecuted groups. It's like, nope, their entire focus was just this one Jewish family and no one else. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Kaveh, like your dad was in prison. Part of the reason was likely because when they asked him if he was Muslim, he said that he left Islam, right? He's like technically like an apostate, right?
He didn't even like leave. When they asked him about the non-Islamic workers there, and they're like, fire them. And my dad was like, I'm not Islamic. Like, I'm just never was. My dad's name was Mohammed Foad, just for context, because his mother was religious, but he was not. So he, like, never was.
Yeah.
So, they assumed by his name being Muhammad that he's like, it was like he's Islamic and stuff, and he's just like, I'm not. I drink alcohol. I like do all the things you're not supposed to do. And they're like, oh great, they just arrested him for that reason.
And they threw him in Evin, right, for like 7 months.
Yeah, he was in Evin for 8 months.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which the director of this film, her father, I think, was also in Evin. He was imprisoned and tortured as well. I think it was also Evin.
One question I have for you, Farn. You said this film has a lot of Iranians. Like, I'm looking at the IMDb.
Let me mention this. Okay, so a friend of mine, Anthony Azizi, birth name Kamal Azizi. I gave him a call because he's in the movie. He plays his cellmate.
Yeah. I remember.
He was telling me, he's like, yeah, this director, he had a massive ego. He didn't take notes. If you tried to like, when the other Iranians tried to like mention things to him, he'd like take it very personally.
Why?
He was like, I was like, do you want me to like censor some of this stuff? He's like, no. He's like, there's a reason that this guy doesn't work as much. And part of it is because he was not a very pleasant person to work with. So apparently Anthony and Adrian Brody would work together in their like hotel rooms quite a bit to try to help him with his accent. Same with Salma Hayek, and like he just like couldn't get there. He did like the best that he could, And he's like, to Adrian's credit, Adrian genuinely tried really hard.
Yeah, he's a professional actor. Like he's
like he wasn't lazy.
Despite
He did
his
try
choices,
his best.
No, you can tell
To
he
get
doesn't.
his accent
he
as
never
like
does.
close as he could.
He never feigns through the role. Like I think he takes his job pretty seriously and tries his best. I just sometimes feel like these role choices are a little
And he's like he mentioned Selma was really nice, Adrian was really nice. They both tried their best to get the accent, but like they just couldn't get it. And so the director, he's this Australian Aborigine guy. He was like, he started berating the other Iranians on set. Being like, what are those accents? Because they were putting on actual Iranian accents.
Right.
And they're like, this is an Iranian accent. They're like, no, it's not. Do it like Adrian. And then he was like, I looked at Adrian and Adrian was like rolling his eyes. He was like pissed off that this like guy was coming, and he kept like calling cut like mid line and coming up to the Iranians being like, what is that accent? No, do it more Iranian. What the hell's wrong with you? All this stuff. And like physically accosted some of the Iranian actors on set, like physically grabbing them, being like, you guys need to sound more Iranian. What's wrong with you? Blah, 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 all this stuff. So there were other Iranians on set, and they got in shit for not having like quote unquote Iranian enough. That's why like I was surprised hearing Anthony's accent, because I know Anthony and I know he can do an Iranian accent, and what was in the movie was not an Iranian accent.
No, yeah, it was like a random like Arabic accent.
Yeah, they made him redo the takes to sound like Adrian Brody instead of sounding like an actual Iranian.
Of course, yeah. So then Adrian Brody's performance doesn't look as bad in comparison because you have nothing to contrast it with, right? To be like, what the hell's that accent? Why these guys all sound different?
That's
so funny. That's so funny that he's like, Adrian's half-assed accent is the actual accent. Do that. Like, okay, sir, who's never been to the country where I'm from, tell me some more about us.
Yeah. Also, Shohreh is obviously Iranian. Shohreh's son character in the movie,
Mortaza.
Mortaza. He's Iranian. He's played by a guy named, what was his name, like Navid or something.
He looked the most Iranian of everyone in that fucking movie.
Yeah, that guy looked super Iranian.
Yeah, Mortaza is the most Iranian person I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Critical reactions. Can we move to critical reactions? There's a few things I want to share with you guys. So, like as I mentioned, this film premiered at 2015 at TIFF. And it was selected as the opening night film for the San Diego International Film Festival on September 30th. So those two festivals held it in high regard. Obviously, middling to negative reviews from critics, 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, as we said. Now, there's two short, like I took two paragraphs from two different reviewers. This film did really badly amongst critics, like really badly. This one is Jordan Hoffman from The Guardian. Gave it 1 star. The plight of a Jewish family during the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Tehran is given a flabbergastingly depthless portrayal. It's a story about a guy. It's a story about a guy who gets arrested and after a little while gets out. Director Wayne Blair never gets us in the head of any of his characters or creates any kind of depth. Septembers of Shiraz comes to us at a time of great saber rattling against Iran from certain quarters. Its producer is Avi Lerner, whose typical slate includes wretched alpha male action pictures such as The Expendables. I don't think it is out of line to question why he would choose this as this prestige picture, quote unquote, to bring to Toronto International Film Festival.
You know what? Like that's a good point of like when it's put out that simply, when it's just like it's a story about a guy who gets into jail and then gets out, and that's pretty much it. Is like my filmmaker brain is immediately like, there's a very easy way to make this like a proper film, like just using a 3-act structure. You're like, okay, first like act of the film, we're seeing his day-to-day life. What's he like? Is he funny? What's he like with his family? What's his work life like? All this shit. And you start the movie before the revolution. Your inciting incident 10 minutes into the film, right, is where you're like, oh, the Shah has left Iran, right? Then you go 30 minutes into the film, Khomeini has arrived, right? Yeah. The revolution is like or it's the referendum or whatever it is. Yeah. Now you're seeing like, okay, how are other people starting to treat them? The people who were nice to them at the beginning of the film, let's start to see how they're like slowly starting to turn on them, right?
Power is shifting now, right?
Midway point in the film, Adrian Brody gets arrested, right? Now it's like, oh shit, the movie's completely changed. They're being like sought after. They're coming after them, all this stuff. Show some nuance, show some like other affluent, like maybe there's a Christian guy in the jail with him, a Zoroastrian guy. Like, what's going on with the women? Are they being persecuted for like the way that they dress? All this stuff, right? Then you get to the turn to the third act. This is where they're like, okay, now I need to like, I'm going to do what I can to get out of here, blah, 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 blah. And then you can have an escape scene where they're being chased, more than just like a motorcycle guy following them in an alleyway. And then you get like an exciting reunion with his son at the end. You don't even get that.
No.
The ending is literally just like them walking on a hill, and then the movie ends.
And the movie ends. Also, can I just quickly say their son, Parviz, is an absolute idiot. He talks to his mom twice. Both times she's in distress. And he's just like, hey, how's dad? And she's like, Dad's okay. She's like, okay, mom, love you, bye. I'm like, are you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with this?
He's at work.
Okay, mom. And then she's like, he's like, Mom, are you okay? She's been crying the whole time, dude. You can't tell that she's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
The last review I'll read, it's a little bit longer, but everything this guy said was so on point. It's worth hearing. Godfrey Cheshire, RobertEbert.com. He gave it half a star.
Oh, yo.
He goes,
out of how many stars?
I think it's 4.
Out of 100.
I don't think you can give it a 0. So half a star is literally the least you can give a film. Maybe you can give it 0. I don't know. But of all recent historical events American movies have tried to dramatize, perhaps none has failed so resoundingly as the Iranian Revolution and its aftermath. Though essentially a thriller that could have been set in a fictional time and place, Ben Affleck's Argo at least deserved points for a prologue that made a stab at providing some historical context. More typical, unfortunately, was the grandmother of this genre, the entirely laughable and context-free 1991 Sally Field starrer.
Hey, shout out.
The result is another vacuous melodrama thriller that doesn't lay a glove on the era's historical complexities. The film relies on the same old simplistic images and reductive assumptions that has characterized most U.S. media coverage for the last 37 years. Last little bit, he says. The film's view of Iran's 1979 revolutionaries is that rather than political or religious zealots, they were simple thieves, avid to lay their hands on the glittering wealth of the country's former elite. That myopic view, no doubt, is the same lens through which elites usually view their political displacement. They did nothing wrong, of course, but were entirely spotless victims of ungrateful lower-class miscreants motivated by greed for what wasn't theirs. If played as a satire in which the Clues upper class bring down the roof on themselves, something Iranian director Dariush Mehrdjoui once did in the remaking of Louis Buñuel's The Milky Way in a Persian setting, this tale might have had a prayer of saying something penetrating about the complexities of the social and political realities it portrays. As is, it gives inadvertent support to Iranian suspicions regarding the artistic corruption of Western cinemas. Anyways, that's it. But I don't even know what Mehrdjoui film he's talking about. Apparently, Mehrdjoui did a remake. It's a satire on upper-class rich Iranians, which is a remake of a Buñuel film called The Milky Way. I've never even heard of this film. I don't know if the Iranian version is called The Milky Way, but essentially this guy's just like, here's just another reductive, simplistic historical context film that doesn't have any historical context. And I just liked what he said. I mean, he gave it as low of a grading as you could possibly give it. And I think that's true. Aside from how offensive this film is, it's just a bad film.
It's a bad film.
Like, you didn't even make a good offensive film.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, just straight up bad. Yeah. Just garbage.
So I thought those were interesting.
Yeah. And also, that reviewer had a great vocabulary.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sort of holds the mantle for Robert Ebert. Did I say Roger Ebert earlier? Roger Ebert.
Yeah, it is Roger Ebert.
Yeah, Roger Ebert. Yeah.
What? Your boy Rosenbaum didn't say anything?
No, Rosenbaum only loves Iranian films. He probably didn't even bother. I love Rosenbaum. All right, deeper analysis, where we talk about the deeper themes of this film. I just fell out. I don't think this film has
nothing.
Other than
It's
this guy had it bad.
nothing.
It's very on the nose. There's very little. But I will say, some of the things I noticed, there's that whole like Israeli children of light kind of motif happening. Anytime Adrian Brody's in prison, it's very dark, lots of shadows. But outside of that, it's very bright, lots of light. Anytime Salma Hayek's around, she's always like, the windows are being opened, there's light coming in. Yeah. Whereas with Brody, it's like darkness. He's always like interrogated in darkness. There's a lot of that of like, oh, we're the light ones and they're the dark ones. Yeah. What else? The other one I thought also, I don't know, this is, again, it's very like on the nose movie. There's like super heavy-handed. They're not really trying to be anything subtextual here. But I thought the other thing was interesting when they take him into that room and then they take the Armenian singer Vartan and they shoot him in the other room. His little simple prisoner friend. They're like about to go kill them, he's like, it's okay, when we die we get 72 virgins. And I'm like, see, even the good Muslims are like dumb bumpkins who don't, you know, like, and I'm not even Muslim, but I'm like, this is pretty egregious, guys, to be like, every Muslim is a fucking bumpkin, even the good ones are absolute idiots. And like, you know,
Well,
and like to the point where he was almost like happy to be killed. Like he was like, yeah, it's okay that they're gonna kill us. It's like, no, what are you talking about, dude?
But that's even the 72 virgins, like when written by, like we should mention a woman named Hannah Weg wrote the script.
Yeah.
When written by Hannah June, like that is the most reductive version of what like Islam believes. Like that 72 virgins has been like the button punchline of like, you're just taking like thousands of pages of Holy Scripture and like reducing it to like, oh, and they believe 72 virgins. And like,
Absolutely.
there's a version of that that's true, but it's like, you're just taking that and just like putting in the words of what guys about. Like, how do you know that those are the last thoughts he's going to have minutes before he dies?
Literally. But like, as far as they're concerned, every like Muslim man is thinking that, like, oh, yes.
Thinking about the virgins they're going to have.
And also, like, it's crazy to take one line from something out of context and be like, this is what they're all thinking. Because like, we could probably do some crazy shit, you know, with any scripture from back in the day. Because they all like have like really violent language in there. Yeah. But yeah, just like the audacity. And also, lady, don't you know that 72 virgins, if you get martyred, if you just get executed for being a chump, I don't think you get anything. I think you just go straight to hell for being a loser.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's it for deeper analysis for you, Faran.
I literally don't have it.
This film is fucking not deep. There's no
oh my god. They're just clobbering you over the head of like, look at these barbarians.
If you tried to swan dive into this movie, you would
break your neck.
Break your neck.
Fuad, at one point we have to have you for a non-Hollywood hit job because I feel like the deeper analysis is like a fun area where with truly good artistic films, we'll get to like break it down and actually talk about the poetry of the films.
Hell yeah.
Fuad mentioned what his favorite movie was.
What is it?
Favorite Iranian film. It's Taste of Cherry.
Oh yeah, that's your favorite, huh?
Well, it's up there. It's one of the ones that I saw and I remembered and like left an impact on me. Yeah. I've seen a few. I haven't seen enough.
All right, let's continue. Best scene. What's your favorite scene in this friggin' craptacular film?
My favorite scene. Also, it ties back into the damn that's poetry potion. But my favorite scene is when Shore and Salma are in the kitchen. And Salma's like, oh, your son's looting. And then she's like, what did you say? And they get into it. And there's like a moment to really humanize because Hayek's like, you were like a emaciated beggar when we found you. And then Shora gets kind of like sad and ashamed. And instead of Salma being like, but I love you, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. She's like, huh, dumb bitch, that's right. Remember who you are. Kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, you're really not doing a good job of making me like Salma Hayek's character. Because like prior to that too, she's like talking down to her all the time, blames her for stealing her ring, which was actually her brother-in-law, Navi, that she never talks about again. He gives her the ring back to be like, hey, I took it. I needed some collateral. Sorry, I didn't want to tell you. But she never goes back to Shora to be like, hey, I found the ring. I'm sorry I accused you of stealing it. That's never a thing. So like this whole time, she's just being such a piece of shit to her, always talking down to her. Like even in the car, she's like, no, you guys are too dumb. You don't understand. She's like, no, we do understand. Like you guys have that Saint Laurent. She's like, Yves Saint Laurent, you idiot! That's a designer. What are you doing, dude? Are you trying to endear yourself to this person? So just when she's like, you were a beggar, and she's like, you're right, I was, and she gets all sad, and instead of being like, you know what, I'm sorry, she's just like, bitch. Like, what's wrong with you?
So that's the scene you like the most?
That's the scene, because I feel like there was a possibility there for something to happen, and the fact that they just like shat all over the whole scene. And I'm like, damn, you guys really don't want me to like this person.
Technically, it's not. Well, I guess it's not the scene that he likes the most.
Best scene?
No, I'll tell you.
It's just his best scene. So that works. It's his best scene.
Yeah, it's my best scene.
It's the best scene. Yeah.
And to tie it back really quickly, I think it's like the cold shoulder is a metaphor for how much like her character hates, and also a metaphor for how much like I hated this movie and my hate for this movie growing. So as her disdain was growing, I'm like, yeah, I'm matching that, but for this movie.
Yeah. That's logic. That's good logic.
My best scene is the scene where Adrian Brody slaps around Mortiza, because I was like, finally, Adrian Brody is like doing something like active about a situation. Because the whole time he's like, oh, you want my money? Okay, here's my money. Oh, you want to beat me? Okay, beat me, whatever.
Okay.
But then like this is the first scene where someone like challenges him and he's like, no, mother. He like starts like smacking him around. I was like, all right.
And choking him.
Finally, something's happening. We have like 3 minutes left in the movie, but Adrian Brody finally like smacked this guy.
I think I have the same scene for slightly different reasons, more or less the same reason, but that's on the stairwell, right?
Yeah, on the stairwell.
So that is my favorite scene, partially because it's like the only thing I said, again, it feels the closest to any dramatic moment.
Yep, 100%.
You know, that idea of like, I raised you like a son, like you, like I raised you. It's just like, that's a heartbreaking reality that he's facing. I'm like, oh, this is like the closest thing to dramatic intrigue in this entire film.
Yeah.
And then that is when he slaps him, I guess, afterwards.
Yeah.
Pushes him around. Yeah, okay. So that's my best scene too. Or the very last scene, because then the film was ending. I was also very happy to see that last scene.
I hated that last scene.
God.
I was like, these guys are in like, if this is Iran, this is Mazandaran. Like, this is not like
they're just going deeper into the country.
Kurdistan. It's not Baluchistan. Like what?
No, they're
gonna swim
like,
across the
Turkey.
Caspian Sea.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna swim to Russia. Armenia. Yeah.
Okay, damn, that's poetry, where we talk about our favorite quotes from the film. I'll just go first. I wrote,
"Who are you? I don't recognize you anymore. You're a stranger in my home."
Which is what Shohreh Aghdarshloo says to her son
Mortiza.
during that other slightly interesting scene in their house. I think it's too over dramatic, and I think like they directed the actors to go like 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the idea of like, who are you? I don't recognize you anymore. You're a stranger in my home. Could even tie into a bit of deeper analysis. Could be like the sentiment Iranians were feeling about everyone.
Yeah.
And even their own country. Like literally speaking to your country as a person.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even recognize you. You're a stranger.
Solid.
So like, I was like, I mean, the film thematically isn't about all that, so I can't really quite say this is a deeper analysis, but at least that sentence had a bit of poetic resonance for me. So
for sure.
Damn, that's poetry is that.
Whew. Foad, what's your damn that's poetry?
My damn that's poetry goes back to that kitchen scene, and it's Salma Hayek said, "Nah, habibi."
Nah, habibi.
And I didn't realize.
Habibi.
Nah, habibi. That's it. And it's so funny because I didn't realize that was her name, so I thought she was just calling her Nah, habibi. Like I was like,
Yeah, that's the first time she says it, and I clocked it too. I was like, what the hell? And then as she kept saying it, I was like, oh, her name is probably Habibe.
Yeah, Habibe. But yeah, the nah is what got me. Nah, Habibe. I was like, oh, what?
In the same scene, there's a moment where Shohreh is like, after she's like, yo, I was joking around. I'm not actually that dense.
Yeah.
She's like, when I tell you my son will make a good husband for Shirin, do you think I really mean it? It's a joke. She was like, no, you idiot. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
My damn that's poetry is, there's a scene where Adrian Brody is talking with his interrogator. It's when he's like first trying to connect with him. Mm-hmm. He says,
your mercy may liberate me from these walls, but more than that, it will save you from yourself.
I was like, all right.
Okay.
I'll take it. I buy that.
What'd you like about it?
I thought it was like one of the few times in the movie where the movie was actually trying to say something. And I guess like if there is a thematic statement of the movie, that's like the closest that you're going to get.
Yeah.
That mercy will liberate you from mercy can liberate you from a prison, but more than that, it'll save you from yourself. So maybe mercy will save you from yourself. I don't know.
From your own hatred,
it's in there.
right? It's basically what he's saying. Yeah. It's like the hatred for me is going to consume you, and like letting me go will help you heal a little bit because you won't have
mercy
this person.
will free you from the imprisonment of your hatred.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Whatever the hell this director's name is.
We found something.
Wayne Blair, you can have that one for free.
Favorite performances, Fuad? Who's your favorite? What was your favorite performance? You're an actor. You're a fellow thespian of the cinematic arts.
Yeah. Well, I thought Adrian Brody's accent could use some work. That maybe we can get some AI to help. I think I've heard that that's a technology that's available. But I obviously am going to go with my homegirl, Shohreh Aghdashloo, because at the end of the movie where she got the Amin house, I also thought was an allegory for real life because she, at the end of that movie, also got a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Well, go ahead, Farn.
It's hard. It's frustrating because, like, the annoying thing is that, like, Salma Hayek, Adrian Brody, Shohreh, Anthony, like, these are all, like, good actors. But the direction is so bad that I'm just like frustrated with everybody's performance. And especially hearing like what Anthony told me about how the director is like intentionally like making bad choices and like the takes that we're seeing and being like this is like a bad take. I don't know who to give this to, man. Like I'm going to give it to Shohreh and Anthony on principle because it's like they're the only two actual Iranians in this film. And like, despite the fact that like this direction is terrible, I buy their performance. Whereas like Salma Hayek and Adrian Brody's accents are so bad that I literally had to turn on subtitles. Like I couldn't understand what they were saying.
So what's your answer?
I'm giving it to Shohreh and Anthony on principle.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
I give it to Ariana Molkara, who played the daughter,
Okay.
because it was the least grating. And there's a scene where she's like crying and scared. I'm like, this is like an 8-year-old girl doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think it's the scene
that's
where
fair.
she's like, her dad has got out. She's like, looking up at him with like sad face. Her sad face looks
Yes,
so good.
yeah.
I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
that's a
that
good
was the
child
moment
actor.
I was like, I'm gonna give it to her because like honestly, every other performance frustrated me to some
Yeah.
degree, and hers did not. So,
Yeah.
I actually thought at one point it was the I thought it was the director. I'm blanking on her name now. At the time, I didn't blank on her name. I thought it was. Anyways, it's not. But I thought it was the director of the Persian version,
Okay.
Mariam Kishavaz. She looks a lot like her. And I was like, oh, is this Mariam Kishavaz as a child? But
It's not.
no, it's not her.
Okay.
I was like very sure it was a Festival of Cons. We don't need to do this. I mean, this entire episode was anything specifically we've overlooked of like things that have aged poorly or things that you think were just like worth mentioning of nitpicks and all that stuff.
Wait, I think
done it all
we've,
episode.
yeah, I feel like we've mentioned it,
Yeah.
but just like all the yallas and stuff, and I'm like, even the Arabs in Iran speak Farsi, you know, like sure, and like Abadan, where I'm from, there's like a large, and Avaz as well, there's a large like Arab population, and they might throw around yalla, but like all the Arabs I knew growing up were all speaking Farsi as well, like which makes sense. Like you're in Iran, of course you're going to speak the language, you know?
Yeah.
I have one nitpick that we didn't really talk about.
Yep.
On their way out, they tell Shohreh's character, Habibe, they're like, hey, the deed of the house is like under this thing, you can have it. And then they leave. And I'm like, that's not how property transfer works. Like you
Yeah.
she can't just be like, oh, I
got
the
the
deed now.
paper,
It's my house. Like
It's got a
this is
different
not
name
how
on
that
it,
works.
but I have the paper, so it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's not, you know, you got to sign it
Yeah.
over. You can't just be like, we bequeath you.
Yeah. I found this in Finders Keepers.
Yeah, that's right. Just
This
like that
isn't-
letter.
I mean, there was
This
a bit
isn't
of that later
Palestine.
on.
You can't just walk into a house and say, this is mine now.
Got him.
Yes.
Got him.
But of course, the Israeli producers are the ones making a thing where it's you just go and take
Yeah.
houses.
Like that's how it works. That's how it works.
Exactly.
you just take it.
Walk in, you take it.
Right.
Kick the people
double
out who
feature-
live there, and it's yours now.
Double feature lineup where we pair this film with another film. If you were going to screen this film, I don't know why you'd do that, but if you wanted to hurt people and put this film on a theater and then you wanted to pair it with another film as a double feature, what would you pick for this?
I'm gonna go first. I have a good one.
Good.
Go for it.
It's a documentary called On Orientalism.
Oh,
Do you know
okay,
this
great.
movie?
no.
It's directed by Soot Jali. It's written by Edward Said. Edward Said is also the main subject of the film.
Okay.
It's only like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, so it's like just barely a feature-length film, depending on like the festival definitions that you're going by. But I think it was made for like our TV.
Yeah.
I have the book. There's a book by Edward Said on Orientalism, and this documentary was an attempt to try to take the ideas discussed in the book and make it more widely available to an audience. But I think it'd be interesting to have a night where you watch the movie, like you watch Septembers of Shiraz, then you watch Orientalism and you try to find the connections. Or you do it the other way around, where once you've seen Orientalism and you're informed of the signs to look for, then you watch this movie and then you have a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hell yeah.
What? That's a good one. That's a good.
That's a great one. Yeah, well thought out. This one's going to be a lot less thought out and dumber. I would double feature this bad boy with The Brutalist because it's also long and based on make-believe. Based on true events. I don't know if you guys know, the Brutalist is an amalgamation of like several Jewish architects or whatever it is, and actually a few of them, none of them escaped the Holocaust. They were all either in the States already or were Nazi collaborators. Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So some also make believe
Controversial.
Based on true events.
and features Adrian Brody doing a terrible accent.
Absolutely. At least in that one, they got AI to fix it. So
That's a good pick. I would just go for like, just dig into the theme of like torturous evenings and just to pair this with Not Without My Daughter, and just like a bad time at the movies. Call it like I ran away. I ran away. Yeah. And either that, or I would pair this with Back to the Future, so that you watch this film first and then you watch Back to the Future.
As like a palate cleanser?
You just remember that cinema is worth believing in. Like, you shouldn't just like turn your back on cinema because of this bad movie. So they just put Back to the Future on afterwards.
Solid.
Hollywood remake. Would you make a Hollywood remake, and how would you go about doing it, Fuad or Farhan?
For the Hollywood Hitjobs, don't we usually say Iranian remake?
Sure, yeah, or an Iranian remake.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, we've done that a few times.
An Iranian remake of Septembers of Shiraz wouldn't be really a remake. I think I just take the title, and I would love to see a slice of life anthology with like a few different, actually, like Farhan mentioned, like a few different classes of like Iranian families, just kind of like slice of life stuff based with the backdrop of the Islamic Revolution kind of brewing in the background of like, oh yeah, people outside are like on the news and stuff, but it's just like their day-to-day lives and the drama that's unfolding. Because I think that's something that's often overlooked. It's like, even in war zones, people still have their personal drama of like, why did you lie to me? It's like, there's bombs dropping on us. It's like, yeah, but you lied to me. Stop doing that kind of thing. So I would love to just see normal people living their lives or trying their best to live their lives while their country is being turned upside down and set on fire.
Cool. That's cool. I really like the framework of having it be like multiple anthology shorts from different POVs and different classes. I think that's a really interesting way to show that. Kind of like Kava, what's that Rasulullah film? Evil Does Not Exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a Rasulullah film.
Kind of like how that one was multiple little vignettes.
Yeah. It's four stories.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how I would do. I would just burn the book and burn the film. I would not do. I wouldn't.
The Nazi route.
You know, I was
the
actually. Yeah, I was thinking actually about how for Hollywood Hitjobs it'd be interesting, instead of Festival of Cons, we do this section called Festival of Pros, and we actually say things that are good about the film.
Oh.
But I will say, like, Septembers of Shiraz is an interesting title. Like, it's actually somewhat poetic and beautiful sounding. It fucking has no bearing on the plot of this film.
None whatsoever.
But like the title itself is actually quite nice.
The title's nice.
What was the other title
again?
Enemy territory.
Right. Brutal.
Yeah.
I honestly would have preferred if that was the title.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't deserve a title like Septembers of Shiraz.
No, it's too poetic for it.
If I did a remake, I would want, like, I don't know, get Panahi to like sit down with the director or the writer of the book and be like, okay, tell me like point for point exactly what happened. Then because I believe in Panahi's ability to dive into nuance and subtlety in like a small scale. I think he'd be able to very eloquently touch on how what happened for various reasons and how it affected different groups of people.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't doubt the experience of her dad. I'm like, he was imprisoned, he was tortured. They probably told him that they did it because he's Jewish and because he's a spy. But like, at the end of the day, the reality is they were looking for any reason that they could to go after anyone who was rich, not affiliated with the government, and like stole all their shit while they were in jail.
Yep. And I think also it's like really telling that this is quote unquote based on true events as opposed to based on a true story.
Right.
Right? Like you can tell this is like really sensationalized and like, again, not to discredit anything, but the fact that it's based on true events and not a true story tells us all we need to know about this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when shawarma shops say Middle Eastern and like not like Syrian falafel or like Lebanese or whatever. It's like Middle Eastern. I'm like, where are you from, guys?
Yeah.
Where's that accent from?
Cuisine.
What part of the Middle East? Because everyone else will tell you.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning too. Like I was going to bring it up earlier. I forgot. Wayne Blair's previous film right before this was called The Sapphires. It's like a musical comedy based on the Sapphires, which is like an Australian Aboriginal pop group. You know, like a 50s style sort of like doo-wop 1950s musical. And it's like the fact that like they chose this filmmaker who has this history, like repertoire of filmmaking. It's like you literally just wanted a workman's director. Like you just want, like you didn't pick based on style, substance, tone, anything.
No.
It was just you picked
whatever,
the guy.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what the connection is. Like, why this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out he was a jerk anyway, so what the hell?
Yeah. Telling Iranians their accents.
They didn't care. They just genuinely didn't care about
No.
making this like a movie that just
No, it
whatever.
was just get it out.
Piece that will make us money.
Exactly. Get it out there.
Yeah.
And
I'm really happy to hear that like this film was so badly received. That warms my heart to
Yes.
feel like it wasn't just like Iranians. It was just like other people too.
other people also saw
genuinely
this
frustrated
as
with
like
the film.
propaganda bullshit, and they're like, "What is this?"
Saw it for what it
guys?"
was, which is
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
If this movie had come out 20 years ago, like Not Without My Daughter time, it would have
Yeah.
gotten like high praise.
Eaten
Salma
it
Hayek
up.
would have been nominated for an award. Like
Roger
Easily.
Ebert loved Not Without My Daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they would have lost their minds 20 years prior. This would have been like a huge hit.
yeah.
Final thoughts and grades. I give this as close to an F. What did I give Not Without My Daughter? Out of
You
curiosity?
gave Not Without My Daughter a D minus.
I give this a D minus minus. It's the lowest possible grade I can give a film, and it's the lowest grade
without
I've given a film.
Yeah.
Without it
This is the
failing,
lowest you've given a film. Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, so D minus minus is the grade I would give this film.
I'm giving this movie a D minus. I gave Not Without My Daughter a D minus minus.
Oh, interesting.
Like I said, with Not Without My Daughter, I think the main thing for me is that Not Without My Daughter contributed to an uptick in hate crimes against brown men at the time. Like this was like something that was measured. And it was a dangerous movie for that reason. And it led to white Americans and white Westerners like actively engaging in hate crimes against brown people and against the Iranians. Whereas this movie, I feel like doesn't
For sure,
have
anyone
the same-
perceived as Iranian.
Yeah. Or anyone perceived as Iranian, which I don't like to use the term Islamophobia because I think that using Islam is a little bit of a scapegoat to hide behind racism. I think it's Orientalism is what it is.
Yeah.
It's an Orientalist film. It is still dangerous. Thankfully, it's coming out at a time where audiences are a little more critical in their thinking. But at the end of the day, it's straight up a boring movie. The directing decisions were like not great. You have a great cast of very talented actors who were unfortunately led astray, and their performances were likely also butchered in the cut. The takes that we're seeing immediately, the first shot of the movie is like there's like 10 mistakes in this one shot. Like it's just sloppy from beginning to end, and there's no nuance in the film. There were opportunity there to dive into how different groups of people were affected, and they completely dropped the ball. So D minus from me.
Hell yeah.
Great.
That's, very, very high. But
Yeah.
you're entitled to your opinion. I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to say it in Farsi. I'm going to give it sad dar sad, 100% for racism.
No. 100%
For racism. Solid,
Yes,
solid.
max out racism.
Beast.
They can't
racism.
they can't get any more racist. But if I'm grading the movie as a whole, man, I can't even, based on your marks, I'm gonna give it a 12 out of a 100.
Damn. Failing grade.
Failing grade. One mark for every Iranian actor in this movie, I think.
Nice.
I think there's 12 total.
Yeah, it still feels high. It feels like it should be 8 or something at that point.
Yeah, I'm being generous. Some of those Bulgarians, I'm like, they look like they could be.
Yeah. So that
Yo.
should be our lowest grade yet, or worst film.
You're 12 out of 100. Is that your actual score, or you're being hyperbolic?
Nah, I'm being kind of hyperbolic, but honestly, like if I was gonna objectively or subjectively kind of rate this as a film, I would probably give it like a D minus or a D minus minus. Because yeah, like we talked about, like so many things just kept showing us the same. So many scenes kept showing us the same shit over and over. Like all the torture stuff. Yeah. Like literally that description you gave, like guy goes to jail and then he gets out. I'm like, that's literally what happened. Like nothing happened in there. He did nothing while he was in there. So I'm like, this is just a terrible story. Period.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That means that our Cinema Rex show average score for this movie is a D minus minus.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, which makes it a three-way tie between Not Without My Daughter, House of Sand and Fog, and Septembers of Shiraz.
Yeah. Pesadam.
Pesadam.
I love that line. Ben Kingsley. I was telling Farah and Kaveh that my dad and I have this joke because of that movie. Every time we call each other, like the first thing we say is like, Pesadam. And then because when I call him, I'll be like, Pesadam. Pesadam.
That's cute.
Yeah, and for the non-Farsi speakers, it just means my son or my dad.
My son. All right. In Septembers of Shiraz, the well-to-do Amin family at the story's center is Jewish, but very little is made of that or of the rich culture of Persian Jews in the drama, which devotes its imaginative energies mainly to portraying Iranian Islamists as two-dimensional baddies. But perhaps its biggest crime is that it's boring. If you're going to be this racist, at least don't be dull. This lifeless by-the-numbers production is an excruciating exercise in cliche and tedium. Monotonous and repetitive, the scenes of Isaac's imprisonment alternate, with one showing Farnaz at home trying to deal with the anxiety of not knowing the fate of her husband and of her being repeatedly tortured in prison. It's anyone's guess why the producers, including Gerald Butler, thought Blair of the feel-good pop musical The Sapphires and various Australian TV episodes would be a good choice here. In any case, he shows no particular affinity for suspense, either psychological or physical. In short, this film is not worth your time. It is not worth your energy. And may these last 90 minutes on this podcast be the last time Septembers of Shiraz is ever discussed again in the pantheon of Iranian cinema.
Amen.
Foad, thank you so much for joining us and talking about this horrendous film.
My pleasure.
We have to have you back on again for a good film, which we will do.
Please, I would love that.
Plug yourself. Like, where can people find you? You do stand-up, you do comedy, your Instagram, shoot.
Yeah, everything's at Foad HP, FOADHP. I have 2 stand-up albums on Spotify and every other streaming platform. First one's called Persian of Color. Second one is called Bisexual Healing. And yeah, I've got 2 feature films. One is already out called Strangers in a Room. You can find that on Tubi. And then the other one, Wild Dogs, I think will be coming out later this year once like the distribution deal is figured out. Yeah. And everything else at FOADHP or FOADHP.com.
Yeah. Follow him on Instagram. He's really, really, really funny. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
And Farhan, what about you? Want to plug you as a guest too on this podcast? Do you want anyone?
Yeah, you can find me on Xbox Live. Yeah. My gamer tag is Moradipur. My
you can find him there 8 to 12 hours a day, guys. So if you need to know where Farhan is,
hell yeah.
Thank you, Farhan, for joining us.
Thank you,
this with me. You know how I feel about you.
Unfortunately.
And to all of our listeners, Be'omi de Didar.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, and remember to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Share with your friends. All that jazz. Music for Cinema Rex was written and performed by Sohail Sadinejad.